Here we have a triangle whose one angle is 135 degrees. Then we have to prove that such an equation holds. Now what do you see in this equation? Sum of squares of sides. Where have we seen them? When we apply the Pythagoras theorem, for which we need a 90 degrees, a right angle. And how can we get a right angle? When we construct an altitude. That is why this angle being an obtuse angle is significant. Why is that? What is an altitude? Altitude is any line which joins a vertex to the opposite side perpendicularly. So when you have such an angle, such an obtuse angle, what happens is your altitude falls outside of the triangle. Now what have we done? We have constructed an altitude AB to the base BC. Let us just join D and B. Now what other function does your altitude have? It helps you determine the area of a triangle, which also is needed in our equation, right? So what is the area of any triangle? It is half into base into altitude, or in other words, half of a side into its corresponding altitude. Now in this step, please remember that your side is just BC. Your original triangle whose area we are concerned about, it is just ABC. Its original base is just BC. I have often seen the students take the whole of BC as the base. That is not correct. Our original side is just BC. So the area of the triangle ABC is this, but what we need is not just the area. We need 4 times the area, which means what? The last term what we are looking for is actually this. Now let us return back to the rest of the terms. Now do you see what we have constructed? With just one construction of an altitude, we have got 2 right angles here. First a big right angle ABC, then a slightly smaller right angle ADB with 2 hypotenuse AC and the smaller one with the hypotenuse AB. Now repeatedly apply the Pythagoras theorem, and what do you have? And then you get 2 such equations. Now in such questions where you have to prove a result, always keep an eye on the result that you need. You will see that there is an AC square and an AB square which is on the other side, which means what? If you take it here, you will have AC square minus AB square. So what they have done is subtracted these 2 equations. We will also do the same thing. We will subtract 2 minus 3 and we will get what? AC square minus AB square is equal to DC square minus DB square. You see what has happened here? The 2 equal terms get cancelled because we are subtracting. Now what do you see here? DC and DB, they both lie on the same line here. DB and DC lie on the same line, which means you can express one in the terms of another. I will keep this one as it is and change DC. How do you change that? Instead of DC, write it as DB plus BC. Do not forget the whole square there. Now this is of the form A plus B the whole square. Do not worry, you can apply the algebraic equation here. We are not doing anything illegal. DB is the measure of the side of a triangle, which means it is a 4 centimeter or a 5 centimeter. It is a numerical value. You are free to apply the A plus B whole square. Now we have applied A plus B the whole square and we have got such a term A square plus 2AB plus B square, and what do you see here? A plus DB square, a minus DB square. Let us take AB square to this side. Now this is the result that we have got. Now this is the place that we have reached, but this is where we want to be. Now how many terms have we got right? The first 3 terms we have got right, but look at the last term. This is what we need to get. But this is what we have got. Everything is fine, but what we have is a DB. What we need is an AB. Can we prove that these are equal? Let us consider the triangle which includes these two sides, AD and DB, which is what? Triangle ADB. We will go to that triangle and see if we can do something about it. Now remember, we have still not used the information that angle B is 135. It could have been any obtuse angle, but it is 135. How is it significant? Look at this line. It is a straight line, which means what? It makes 180 degrees. So that means what? If this is 135, this angle will be 180 minus 135, which is what? 45 degrees. Now this we know is the altitude, so it is 90 degrees. Now look at this triangle. It has 3 angles. Sum of the angles will be what? 180 degrees, a 90, a 45, which means here you have a 45 degrees, which means what? 2 equal angles, which would mean what? 2 equal sides. The side opposite to this angle and the side opposite to this angle will both be same. So what are we looking at? AD and DB are equal. That is exactly the result that we were looking for. So instead of DB, you can put AD, but what is 2 times AD into BC? It is 4 times of the area of the triangle ABC. So that is the result that we were looking for. So that is all for today. But if you have not checked out our earlier videos, please do check out. We have done a similar problem, but instead of an obtuse angle, we have gone for an acute angle. The result is different, but it is still a very interesting question. So that is all for today. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.